If you're on your phone and someone behind you is glancing at it, ColorOS 12.1 will notice them and automatically hide the details of any incoming notifications so that nothing gets exposed. It's a fantastic privacy feature known as anti-peeping notification. On the other hand, OneUI 4.1 lets you stack multiple widgets on top of each other so that you can scroll through them on the same page. And the best part is that you can choose to stack any widgets that you like. Those are just two awesome features found within these two massive software updates. It's a comparison between ColorOS 12.1 and OneUI 4.1. I'll go over what features each OS has that the other doesn't and discuss any similarities between them. It's going to be a pretty detailed comparison, so a quick thumbs up would really be appreciated. Also, I made some awesome widgets, exclusive wallpapers, and I'm giving away hundreds of promo codes to a bunch of apps only on my Patreon page, which I'll link down below, so don't miss out on that. Anyways, let's start it off with the advantages that you get with ColorOS 12.1. The first big ColorOS feature that really comes in handy and is also great for multitasking is Flex Drop. This lets you turn almost any app into a floating window by simply swiping it up to the top of the screen. It even starts as a miniature version so that it doesn't get in the way of any app that I want to open up next. OneUI 4.1 also lets you open apps into floating windows, but the process isn't as convenient since you need to jump into the Recents menu and long press an app to drop it into pop-up view. It's a lot more intuitive on ColorOS. There's also this smart sidebar that you can bring in by swiping on the edge of the screen, and it also lets you drag apps from it to convert them into a floating window. But it can do a lot more than just that. It can carry many useful tools and any of your favorite apps. In contrast, OneUI has edge panels, which is a lot more powerful, but it does take up a lot more screen real estate. ColorOS's new air gesture features are also really sick. It comes in handy whenever your hands are dirty or wet. For example, if I need to answer a phone call urgently, I can simply hold the back of my hand out and flick it upwards to answer it. Or when I want to scroll on any of my social feeds, I can just flick my hand up or down to scroll. It's really awesome. Emojis were also first introduced in ColorOS 12, allowing you to create 3D animated faces. It came with over 200 accessories, so it's possible to make it look just like you. And I like that you can integrate them into the always on display. Samsung does the same thing with their AR emojis, but they only appear as stickers or weird looking GIFs. ColorOS does much more than that by letting you choose different expressions, making the emoji a lot more natural. Also, with the always on display, ColorOS lets me have an outline of anyone's face. It looks really sick and it's called Portrait Silhouette. Helps give the Find X a bit more personality even when it's in a crowd of other phones. And even though this isn't a new feature that was exclusively released in ColorOS 12.1, I just want to say that I absolutely love Apple's O-Relax app. It's perfect for when I need to do some deep focusing on an assignment that I'm working on, for example, a paper that I'm writing. It even lets me create a mixture of random sounds, like having light rain play, with wind whispers, a jazz bar maybe, and even some ASMR pencil writing, all of which can have their volumes be customized. Now, in a more general sense, the main focus with ColorOS 12 was to refine and simplify most of the UI and some system apps to provide a cleaner and uncluttered look. They've increased the spacing, made fonts larger, brought higher contrast, and color coordinated everything to create a hierarchy system. I even like that they dropped down most of their menus to the bottom of the screen to make the UI easier to use with one hand. They also improved the animations with a new quantum animation engine to make everything feel a lot more natural. And they even improved the performance with a new AI system booster, ensuring that apps run a lot smoother. In my experience with these new technologies, I've definitely found the Find X5 Pro to be a lot more fluid and buttery smooth after a long time daily usage. I can even have more apps running in the background without causing any lag. Samsung, on the other hand, didn't really change much of its interface. They just stuck with the same design language and modified a few tiny things. They also added a good amount of new features, which we'll discuss later on in the video. They focus more on the functionality part instead of the design. Now let's flip the script and talk about all the advantages you get with OneUI 4.1. First off, I love that I can have my AR emoji dance in the background of any incoming calls or on my lock screen. It's funny and it makes me smile even if it's the IRS calling. The sharing hub on OneUI 4.1 also got improved and looks a lot better. Unlike ColorOS, you're able to reorder the apps within the menu so that you always have your favorite apps up first, ready to share. You can also increase the display's brightness just in case the maximum default brightness doesn't do it for you. It especially comes in handy during the summer when that hot sun doesn't ease up. Both softwares have a digital well-being menu within the settings, but OneUI includes an extra section within theirs called Comfort Care. Here you're able to track how long you drive on a daily and weekly basis, as well as what apps you were using while you were on the road. And there's also a volume monitor to help you balance out the sound whenever an app's sound is too loud. For example, TikTok has a bad habit of blasting loud videos whenever you open it up. This stops those random sound blasts to help keep your ears safe. The cameras also came with many new goodies, especially if you have the new Galaxy S22. For example, portrait mode now supports night shots to let you take better photos of friends or family members in low-lit areas. ColorOS doesn't even let you use the LED flash when you use portrait mode with the rear cameras, let alone support the night mode. OneUI 4 also introduced video collages. Within Samsung's Gallery app, you can select a mixture of up to 6 images or videos and bring all of your memories together in one single post. Plus, it's extremely customizable, perfect for Instagram or Snapchat. In the accessibility settings for OneUI, there's always been a slider to let you adjust the left or right balance of the audio. However, with OneUI 4.1, the sliders are now separated to let you adjust the phone's speaker and any connected device like your earbuds separately. Gives you a lot more control over your listening experience. Finally, I love that Samsung follows Google's footsteps in updating its widget panel. You have the recommended widgets at the top, along with the search bar, and everything else is collapsed into its own app menu. ColorOS still carries the old Android 11 widget panel within its launcher. Now let's go over every new feature that both softwares have and discuss if there are any minor advantages over the other. We'll start it off on a random note. Both softwares allow you to connect your phone to your desktop. Oppo software, known as PC Connect, mirrors your phone's screen to your PC, and it allows you to do a few extra things like quickly transfer files between your PC and phone, mirror incoming notifications on your desktop in real time, and let you copy and paste information from one device to the other. Samsung's version, known as Samsung DeX, is just a whole new desktop world of its own. And honestly, I still prefer Oppo's PC Connect. Don't get me wrong though, I can see why people would find Samsung DeX to be a lot more useful, but PC Connect is just a lot more practical, doesn't take up as much space, and still does a lot of fantastic things. Samsung DeX is also pretty laggy and its refresh rate is not that good, so it still has a long way to go. The dark mode also got further improved on OneUI 4.1. Whenever you enable it, your wallpaper, icons, and widgets and some random illustrations also get darkened. ColorOS has had this for the longest and even allows you to do a lot more, like changing the dark mode to a light shade of black or gray. Very convenient for those who don't like the AMOLED look. Both OSs support virtual RAM, which basically uses your phone's storage space to allow for more apps to stay open in the background. ColorOS allows between 3 to 7 gigabytes, while OneUI provides a broader range of 2 to 8 gigabytes. Vibration is also controllable on both OneUI 4.1 and ColorOS 12.1. You can choose to have very aggressive haptic feedback or something a lot more gentle. ColorOS even allows you to choose the vibration style, like something crisp or gentle. In contrast, OneUI already allowed you to choose a vibration pattern for both notifications and incoming phone calls, but with their version of 4.1, they added ringtone synchronization, which has the phone vibrate in time with your ringtone or notification alert. Pretty sick. ColorOS 12 also introduced dual view video mode, which allows you to record both your front and back camera at the same time. Plus you can choose different styles. Samsung can do the same thing with a mode called Director's View. All in all, both updates are fantastic and I'm pleased with what each one provides. I think Oppo did a lot to improve the user experience within ColorOS 12.1. Even though it's not a huge dramatic change like how Google did with their Android 12 update, Oppo still managed to modernize their software and make it look a lot cleaner and refreshed. OneUI 4.1 feels more like a feature update. It gave the users a few more goodies to play around with. Still, I'm very excited to see what the future holds for both of these softwares, especially with their Android 13 updates. Be sure to get subscribed because I'll be one of the first to review it on this channel, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. Either way, that's a detailed comparison of ColorOS 12.1 and OneUI 4.1. If you guys enjoyed this comparison and learned something new, be sure to drop a thumbs up on this video. Also, I made video reviews for both of these softwares individually, so if you'd like to learn a few more things, I'll leave both those videos in the cards. Thank you for sticking to the end, and I'll catch you in the next one. Kapow!